Let's go to NBC's Jim Lukashevsky, who covers military affairs for us at the Pentagon. Jim, what do you have?
David, U.S. military officials here at the Pentagon are confirming that 7 are dead, at least in this shooting, and as many as 12 wounded. What makes this particularly puzzling is that immediately when you hear about a shooting on a military base these days, you think of post-traumatic stress syndrome or disorder. And many of those soldiers at Fort Hood have had repeated deployments to either Iraq and Afghanistan. And in fact, earlier in Iraq this year, you had a soldier at a traumatic stress clinic in Baghdad allegedly shoot up the clinic, killing 5 of his fellow soldiers, apparently because of post-traumatic stress disorder. But in this case, they are reporting that they have 1 gunman in custody and another on the loose. It's quite unusual to have 2 gunmen involved in such kind of shooting incident. So it's going to take some while to unravel the details about exactly what was behind these shootings and, quite frankly, who was behind these shootings, David.
Jim, I want to try to tap your institutional memory. You mentioned the 5 killed in Baghdad. So put this in perspective. Would this be one of the worst sort of cases of fratricide, if that's what we want to describe it? And secondly, describe what you know about Fort Hood in terms of the rolling terrain and how difficult it might be to try to find somebody who's on the loose there.
Well, in fact, it would be the worst shooting of this kind. In fact, most people involved in post-traumatic stress end up perhaps taking their own lives instead of others. So it is unusual to have any soldier in post-traumatic stress to go on a rampage like this, much less 2 soldiers. So, as I said, that's a very puzzling aspect of this shooting as reported so far out of Fort Hood. In terms of Fort Hood, it's a sprawling complex. If you're on it, it seems like you're in your own individual state. It's so large. A lot of training facilities, a lot of open space and training grounds. But at this time, it's unclear exactly where this other gunman being sought escaped to or how.
Well, information that's coming in is that they've surrounded the PX there, the commissary on the base. The individual has a high-powered sniper rifle, and if this PX is similar to some other bases there, that would be kind of like the grocery store where people buy clothes. It could be a number of wives and spouses of military people inside that PX at the time. It's 2:20 local time in Texas there. So they're saying, Mick, that this is they have surrounded the PX there on the base, and that the individual has a high-powered sniper rifle. This happened in 2 different locations. One is a soldier processing center, and now all of the attention is at the PX mix. Mick.
Well, it's impossible and, quite frankly, dangerous to speculate. But at any given part of the day, PX is crowded,
right?
As you say, on a base like that, with not only soldiers but their family members. So far, we aren't getting any word about the whereabouts of the suspect or if he's in that PX, whether any additional soldiers or family members may be inside.
We don't know. We're just looking at the time of day, and this is the information that they're coming out. As you point out, this is not normally a quiet time of day for a facility like that.